Welcome to the Dull Edge. This is our podcast where we talk about all the ridiculous things that we've always wanted to talk about, but nobody bothered to ask us. I'm Shay.
And I'm Bobby.
And today we have a guest speaker with us. A guest, I guess, not speaker. You're not giving a...
I'll speak if you want me to.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. What's your name?
My name is Alonzo.
Okay.
I'm a chef, and I happen to be Shay's brother.
Yes, my awesome older brother, who's exceptionally generous with his time. He really is. Bobby teaches me stuff. It's really cool.
Well, he helped you with that thing last year.
I know, yeah.
The creme
brulee.
Oh, yeah.
Which was great.
75 individually plated creme
I
brulees.
don't think that people understood how good it was. And, like, whatever.
It was all dusted with silver and stuff. It was pretty cool. So that's the Alonzo that you're getting involved with here with this podcast. Anyway, so Alonzo is a chef, and we asked him if he would come up with some interesting topics for us, and he has. So, but I have a question for you first, Lon. Why did you decide to become a chef?
So in my late 20s, I was at a dead end in life. Like, I'd been to college and had changed majors like 4 times and realized that none of them were going to take me anywhere. So I actually dropped out of college for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then one day I was just bemoaning my life to a friend of mine, and she suggested that I try to do something that scares me. And she was thinking more like bungee jumping or skydiving or something like that.
And you were like, I just want to chop some carrots.
Yeah. No, I didn't want to do anything actually scary.
Oh my God.
But her idea was, try and shock you back into doing stuff.
Yeah.
Around that time, I came across a cookbook in a discount bin at Blockbuster of all places.
What? You are so old.
I know, that's an old statement. And it was a cheesecake cookbook.
Oh my gosh.
And I'd heard somewhere that cheesecakes were hard to make.
That's what I was gonna say.
And so I decided I'm gonna master a cheesecake. So that recipe book had something like 200 cheesecake recipes, and I cooked from beginning to end.
It was really fun.
It took like a year.
Oh my gosh. And then you didn't get sick of them? You weren't like...
Well, I got sick of them, yeah.
You were like, but we got to do it.
We were the beneficiaries of that. It was delicious.
Oh,
a great time.
At one point, a former boss of mine now wanted some Tyson. He wanted a cheesecake, and he bought a cheesecake for me, and that was a light bulb moment in my head. I'm like, ooh, I can make money cooking.
Okay.
So I decided I'd give culinary school 1 semester to see if it was me. And it turns out it's 100% me. So
cool.
Wow.
That's how I got into it.
That's nuts.
I love that.
Do you make macaroons? Macarons?
Those are okay. So
because I'm like, you said cheesecake's hard, and all I thought was my mom's like, I love making these. I'm like, I can't be in the kitchen.
Yeah, no, those are delicious, and I will make them. Yeah. But I don't want to. they're difficult. You know who does make them? Those our niece, Emily. Yeah. She makes them with her friend, and she's like 13, and they do a fantastic job.
They don't gotta show off to me.
Well, yeah, they also should. I think they also just they're not aware of how hard it is. I think it's interesting how you can do hard things when you don't know it's hard.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I just get too I just want to move on really fast. You gotta wait till the eggs are room temperature. And I'm like, I don't got time for that.
Well, you do. One of the interesting questions I thought that you had, Lon, was you asked us what are some of your transformative culinary experiences, and when Bobby and I were talking about this, we're like, transformative culinary experiences? Half of those words are too big for me, but
whatever.
But I'm curious what your transformative culinary experiences are, because you've had, you're how many years into this now? 15 years into this?
Yeah, 16, 17,
yeah. So you've done a lot of cool stuff now. So what are some of your experiences?
Well, we've all had those moments in our life where something happens, or we find ourselves doing something that's outside of our own comfort zone.
Sure.
And just for whatever reason, it's not even a decision, it just happens. And you're like, whoa, I didn't think that way before.
Yeah.
And then it's a paradigm shift. You think about life in a completely different way.
Okay, yeah.
For some people it'd be like going on a mission. For other people it'd be like, I don't know, watching the sunrise for the first time in 20 years.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Something like that. And then all of a sudden you're like, it changed your life. For me, the culinary experience was when I was in culinary school. And it was the first time in my life that I ever had a medium rare steak.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
We didn't grow up with steak, Bobby. We didn't grow up with
steak. You didn't eat steak at all?
No. I don't remember.
Very occasionally.
If it was terrible cuts of steak too. It wasn't real steak.
Yeah, we grew
on purpose or an accident. Is that rude?
No.
No.
Were they just not into steak and they're like, whatever works?
No, we grew up in a shake and bake chicken house.
Yep.
That's what we ate, was shake and bake chicken and canned green beans.
We ate hot dog boats.
See, yeah.
There you go.
When you have working moms, that's kind of what happens, right? My poor mom wasn't getting home from work until 6 or 7 at night, so shake and bake 20 minutes in the kitchen, you're good to go. You know,
That's fair.
Sundays was usually something a little nicer, like, you know,
a roast
or something, but not like steak. We didn't have a grill or anything.
All right.
I think it's a cultural thing too.
Yeah.
I've seen it in conservative. This is not political,
But
we don't do politics.
In conservative areas, like old school conservative, I think it's kind of a trend where everything's cooked a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I think it kind of
like crock pot type stuff.
Like roasts and things like that, because it's more like a traditional family 1950s, family type meal.
Yes.
Dry
chicken.
Yes.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Well, and like I think all of that kind of dates back to when we were all very scared of like bacteria and things like the jungle, the book from what was that, the teens or the 20s or something.
1920s. Yeah.
That exposed the meat industry in Chicago.
And now we're all afraid of meat. Yeah.
Exactly. That terrified all Americans.
Whole generation,
and up until I'd say 20 years ago.
Don't read that book, Bobby. It'll make you sad.
Oh, it's a great book actually.
Don't do it. Don't listen to
it's
him.
in it. Oh, what's it called?
The Jungle.
The Jungle.
Maybe I was thinking something else.
It talks about the meatpacking plants in Chicago.
I think it was Chicago.
Chicago, I think so. Yeah.
I feel like there's. I don't know. I'm not gonna read that.
It's a real
fantasy
book.
books.
It's a real book.
Oh, then I don't read real books.
Yeah,
I only read the
it'll scare you. But yeah, Alonzo's right though. I mean, that's what caused like the bacteria scare. So then you had this first medium rare steak.
Yep.
And it was just like.
Were you scared, or were you like,
so,
I'm gonna try it because I'm a chef?
Well, like anyone going to college, your mind is a bit open into things.
Yeah.
So, and I went into that culinary school thinking, there has to be a reason why it's so popular. So what am I missing?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I'll just go into this with open mind.
Yeah.
But I remember it was a filet mignon, which is the tenderloin cut, bacon wrapped.
Right. Oh, bacon wrapped.
Wow.
Simple salt and pepper. That's it.
Yeah.
Seared in butter. Slowly finished in the oven. I forgot that we actually put some garlic and some thyme in there as well, just at the very end in the butter.
Yeah.
And then basted it. So real classic way to make a filet mignon. And then it rested for a good 15-20 minutes. And then I sat down. When I cut into it, it cut like butter. And it, of course, was bleeding all over the plate. And I chew it, and just literally like 2 or 3 chews into that bite. Paradigm shift.
Yeah.
And like I can no longer have a medium or a well done steak.
No, I can't do it either.
No, for sure.
You're the first person that ever cooked me a medium steak.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or a rare steak. You're the first person I ever had that was a rare steak too.
Oh, cool.
It was so yummy. I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. That was when you were in Lava Hot Springs. So.
Yeah.
It was good.
So I mean that right there opened up a whole avenue for me. Like have you ever heard of haggis? You know what that is?
Yeah, it's a Scottish dish.
Scottish dish.
Blood pudding type thing, right?
You take the stomach of traditionally a goat or a sheep, one of those, and then you put all the things in there that you're gonna throw away anyway. So and then you put in some vegetables and some other herbs and spices and whatnot. Then you seal the stomach up, and you like cook it like in boil it in water or cook it slow.
Cook it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was cooked.
What?
What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
You might be thinking of blood sausage.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Which is also delicious.
Is
No.
it? I tried it once and it was like, that's
0
kind of
stars.
The
I'm not doing that.
Really?
No, I won't do that one. I'll eat a snail.
You gotta try it.
I'll totally eat a snail. I'm not gonna do raw blood. Gross.
Well, they make it like sausage, so it has all the herbs and spices, and then they age it, and so like the actual chemical structure changes. And here's the thing about
heaven help me.
here's the thing about consuming blood. Okay, that's a weird sentence.
Yeah,
here's the thing about consuming blood.
That's the clip. That's the clip.
Hashtag put that on a shirt.
That's a good shirt. But the thing about it is like if you eat meat, what's the difference?
It's warm.
Because you're eating meat.
Bro, does that help? Warm blood's better than the cold blood.
It is.
So I don't know.
Wait, finish your thought about the other thing though. You were talking about haggis, so you put it in the stomach and you seal it up. Where were you going?
I don't know. Just wanted to bring it up.
I just want to bring up haggis.
Haggis.
No, I mean the paradigm shift for me. I mentioned earlier is if lots of people are already doing it, there's got to be something to it. So what am I missing?
Fair. That's what convinced me to eat sushi, raw sushi.
Yeah. Exactly.
I was like all of Asia eats this. Like it can't be bad. There's like 1 billion people over there and they're not dead. So like it's probably not gonna kill me either.
It's probably gonna be all right.
Yeah, and it's delicious. I love sushi.
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
I still can't do like giant pieces of 2 ounces of raw fish. I can't do that.
You don't do like the house at the sushi monster?
No.
Ooh, have you ever had ahi poke?
No.
Heard of it, but
I have not.
So it's ahi tuna, cubed up into big chunks, like a dice size, maybe a little smaller.
Yeah.
You dress it with a soy sauce based dressing, usually with sesame seeds and maybe like a lemon or something. No, usually not ginger.
Okay. All right.
It's big in Hawaii, so it's got kind of an Asian flair to it, or a Japanese flair.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's not cooked. It's not cured.
Like the sushi. The soy sauce was enough to be like, you're good.
Yeah. I mean, it's raw, so it's.
Is that what they put in the poke bowls? Poke bowls?
Poke bowls. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I wonder about that. I'm like, is that literally just like here?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
crazy.
No,
one day.
I'll try.
You want to go to the poke bowl? Poke bowl? Pokey?
Pokey, yeah.
Is it pokey or poke?
Poke, actually.
Poke. They have a poke bowl.
Poke. That sounds like it's all fancy. Poke.
Over by the
poke.
It's almost like French, but it can't possibly.
Yeah, no. It's the opposite of French.
It's the opposite of French. No.
It's basic.
It's very. Oh my gosh.
Good stuff though.
Yeah. Oh, I have my thing.
Oh, you do? Okay. Bobby's got questions too.
What am I going to ask?
Sorry.
I don't freaking know.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so what are your top 3 tools that if you had only 3, what would you be like? And don't say knife. You can't say knife.
Oh man, because that's
number 1.
That's
I know. That's why I'm like, don't like pick like egg slicer or something.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I know the knife is going to be obviously like the best.
Did you know, Bobby? He bought me my chef knife.
I didn't know you had a chef
for my wedding.
knife.
He bought me like a real chef knife.
Oh
so I have like a super cool one. He sharpened it for me last time too.
And then I cut it myself with it.
Yeah, he did. He cut it.
Stitches and everything.
Wow,
it was
you
awesome.
really cut yourself.
I drove him to the hospital.
Did you use one of those like
Go ahead.
circles thing? I did a hand motion.
A circle thing?
I don't know. It's like a cylinder, and then people are like, "This is how you sharpen the knives."
Oh yeah, like a honing knife. Yeah.
Sure.
No, he uses like the real thing.
What, like with the pedal on the?
No.
Like, what do you, I don't know what this mean.
Explain it.
Explain it.
So there's 2 different things. So there's sharpening a knife, and when you sharpen a knife, you're literally taking off steel.
Okay.
And so there's less of it after you sharpen it.
Yeah.
And then you have a honing knife. A honing knife doesn't take any steel off.
Okay.
See, when you have a knife, it comes to a point. Like if you go to get an electron microscope, at some point it will come to the last atom, and that's a point.
He's not pointing at the point, by the way. He's not the tip of the knife, like
the edge of the knife.
Yeah, the edge. Yeah.
The cut and
and so what happens naturally as you're cutting or like scraping stuff or whatever, that very tip gets curled over.
Oh.
And that's what makes a knife dull.
Okay.
Is the actual tip of the blade, or the actual tip of the edge, is bent over.
Curled,
and so the honing knife actually just puts everything back in alignment.
Oh.
As long as you know
and
what
that's
you're
all
doing.
it is.
So is that preferred?
I mean, it saves your knife for a lot longer.
Yeah.
I have worked with like kitchen knives before where people just sharpen it over and over and over again, and it is literally like an eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch short or less wide than it should be.
That happens with hockey
feel
skates.
like
They
that's
just sharpen them down. Eventually, you have to get a new blade because it just that you just take it off and that's it.
Look at you, fancy, being able to relate.
Good
job.
I had my skates for like 15 years, and eventually you gotta get new
blades.
So,
Yeah.
No. So I mean, you can do it however you want. You can sharpen it every time, or you can hone it every time. I find it's a lot easier just to hone it.
Yeah. That's what I usually end up doing.
And when you spend $120 on a single knife, you don't want to.
You want to keep that.
You don't want to wear it away.
Yeah.
I think the whole time I've had that knife, I've only had it sharpened twice. I took it to a professional, and he sharpened it because I had a nick in it, and I was so upset. Oh my gosh, I was mad. But he took someone else used it.
Oh.
Don't ever let anyone use your chef knife, dang it.
100%. I agree with that.
Nobody touches your chef. It's like Ginger scissors, man. For like when you're cutting fabric, if you own a pair of Ginger scissors,
those are fabric only scissors.
Fabric only scissors.
And they freaking
you
don't cut the paper. You don't cut any of it.
My children are literally not allowed to touch my scissors.
So no fingernails.
Yeah, no fingernails or toenails.
I just wanted to do that, and I was like
cutting rocks.
But yeah,
cutting rocks.
My children are literally not allowed to touch my Gingers. But no, and then the only other person that sharpened that knife was Alonzo. Other than that, I hone it.
Nice.
So yeah. But okay, so besides the chef knife, so we all know that's number 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I knew knife was gonna be number 1.
Right. So I would also take out things like refrigeration and dishwashers and things like that.
Yeah.
So knife is my number 1. And Anthony Bourdain, the chef and travel writer, he mentioned once that you only need one knife to do all of your work. I sort of agree, but I mostly disagree.
Okay.
You can do everything with one knife.
It'd be slower though on something.
It'd be a lot slower, and you won't be as effective. And so, and if I were to choose any one knife to have, it would be a 10-inch chef knife.
Yeah.
Not a 12 or 14-inch or an 8-inch.
Can you imagine wielding
10
a
would be
14-inch?
like.
What are you gonna do with a 14-inch chef knife?
I have one.
Why do you have
Cut
that?
fish? I don't know.
It actually, well, you can cut larger groups of things at once.
Oh.
So instead of like 2 carrots, you can cut 4 carrots because you have more leverage when it's longer.
Okay. All right. Fair.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd cut my finger off if I had a 14-inch knife. Oh, okay, so 10-inch chef knife.
So 10-inch chef knife. But you. So I guess I'll change my number 1 from one knife to my knife kit.
Oh, I see how it is.
That's cheating.
All right.
So all of my knives.
I choose my number 1 to my kitchen. All right, cool,
my
cool,
entire
cool.
kitchen. I will not cook without it.
Number 2 would be a probe thermometer.
Oh.
Like one that's
Okay.
electronic and can send you messages.
Digital. Well, not necessarily, but just one like like a classic chef coat has those pocket sleeves.
Yeah.
That are on the side. And honestly, I think every single chef, anyone who cooks in a kitchen, should have one of those in their sleeve.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. Number 1, you need to make sure that your food is safe.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's cooked and you're holding it hot, you need to make sure it stays above that temperature.
Right.
If it's cold in the refrigerator, you need to make sure it's cold enough so things don't spoil.
Right.
So number 1 is a practical reason. Number 2, I've cooked a lot of steaks in my life.
Yeah.
However, I'm not as cocky to think that I'm good to go at the beginning of each shift.
Right.
Yeah.
Because depending on what you're cooking, how big the cut is, the cooking medium, so if it's like high-powered gas versus electric,
Sure.
the type of pan, the type of oil, it all changes how the steak cooks.
Right.
And so at the first part of the dinner shift, which I usually work dinner,
Yeah.
I always check the first dozen or so steaks. Just so I'm calibrated in my own head.
Right, figured it out.
So like, okay, I think this one's a medium rare, so I check it.
Right.
I'm like, oh, okay, it's a medium rare, cool. Now I'm calibrated, and now I can cook the rest.
Oh, that's smart.
Do you ever do that, like, poke your finger hand thing? They're like, this is rare, and this
Oh,
is...
yeah.
Do you ever do that? You, like, poke, and then you, like, poke?
That's how I learned.
Oh,
I don't do it much anymore.
I was going to say you're probably past that.
Yeah.
But...
He's an adult chef now. He's not a baby chef
Thank
anymore.
you.
No more baby chef.
I do check all of my poultry that I cook.
Oh, smart man.
To make sure that it's all well done.
Yeah, I'll eat at your restaurant anytime. Jeez.
Well, good. I'm glad.
The sickest I ever got, I think, was off a chicken burger out of a like a Six Flags in Texas
What the
because it wasn't fully cooked.
frick?
It was so
Gross.
now I'm not okay with like chicken anymore. Well, I mean I am. I
Dude,
eat
you're
it,
already
but-
off turkey.
No,
You're
I
just
know.
cutting off all
I mean
the
like
meats?
restaurant chicken. Like unless it's
okay.
like piping hot, I'm like,
No thanks.
Like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's got to be warm for me to enjoy it. Otherwise, I'm always thinking because I was sick for 3 days, like 3 days of puking. It was awful.
no.
So yeah, thank you for checking your chicken. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
Okay,
No
so
problem.
your knife kit, probe thermometer in the sleeve, looking very cool.
Yep, and I would say a first aid kit.
Oh,
Wow.
well, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, you're all
You're
thinking
like-
about cooking
I know, I
side.
was thinking
So, like,
things.
you know how I
I
said
was
knife
like,
at the beginning?
yeah.
Yes.
I was ready
It's
for your
all
next slice.
around.
Actually, what I wanted you to say was KitchenAid because that would have made me feel better.
You know what's funny is of all the places I've worked, literally every single one, none of them have had a KitchenAid stand mixer.
Are you serious?
Oh, really?
Not
What
as,
the
there-
frick?
well, the one up in Idaho has one, but it's really small. I can't do anything in it.
Yeah.
And so I bought one,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
a bigger one, and I travel with it.
It's yours. You own
It's mine.
it.
Yep.
You're like,
So-
I am done making cream by hand, or like whipped
Oh,
cream by
yeah.
hand. You had to do that, didn't you, when you were at that 5-star place?
I still do it every so often.
Just because you can.
Like by hand?
Yeah,
Not
no, like he
like
pours whipping cream and he whisks
Well,
it all up
that's
and turns it into
nuts.
fluffy whip.
It's actually not that hard.
Oh my
Are
gosh.
you- everyone on TV is like, oh, my arms. Are they just weak? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean
Like,
you get that burn, of course, but
Yeah.
anyone who's ever worked out in their life knows that the burn is good.
Okay.
Um,
Sure.
I mean, you're not wrong.
yeah.
You're also
Whatever.
crazy. I would never do that by hand.
Um,
I would be
it-
so upset
if I
had
have to
that
do
by
if I have to
hand.
do one
Yeah.
order of it, I'll do it by hand.
Sure.
Because there's the whole dishwasher thing. You don't want to
Yeah.
Yeah.
make your dishwashers mad. So.
Yeah.
I would make him mad over that one. I'd be like,
I
nope,
can't
here
do
it is.
it, people.
Here, you do this. I'm not doing it. That's too much work.
Anyway, but you know the truth of it is there's no like one thing that you need.
Mhm.
You do need a lot of stuff, and it all depends on what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say any one of these things is more important. If I were to pick anything that's most important, it's probably that first aid kit. Because I've cut myself several times in the middle of service.
Oh.
And, you know, that the reaction you have is like, now what? You know, it hurts, but the more pressing matter is, what do I do with this blood coming out of my finger?
Right,
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Sure. It's not like TV where they're like, okay, fix it quick.
Yeah.
Someone come run over here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Frig.
That was not what I was expecting at all.
That's my 3.
There you go. Okay, what else you got, Bobby? You had other questions.
Okay, great. Good. Because I was like, I think I should have changed. So the other one was, Zach.
Wasn't like favorite and least or something like that?
No, culinary trends. That's what I want to know about. Okay, like how do you feel about like gold leaf or like I only know about dessert things. I only watch dessert stuff on TV. Or the powdered sugar where they're like, I don't know what to do, and then they powder sugar the top of it, and I'm like, why'd you do that? Just to make it look nice or something. Stuff like that, where you're like, how do you feel about those things? Or is there any that you're like, I love it?
Well, you know what I mean? There's a lot of trends that are awesome.
Yeah.
You know, when it's coming from restaurants, it is normally about making the extra money.
Oh yeah. If
So
it looks nice enough, they'll pay more.
Yeah,
like gold
exactly.
leaf. Like gold leaf is like pretty cheap, isn't it?
It's pretty cheap, and you can add a lot to the price of the dish just by adding gold leaf to it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Or a lot of you know, all the fancy plating with the sauces on the plates and everything.
Swoosh, like, do you do that a lot?
I do that. Yeah.
Is that like a cool thing to do? Is that not a trend? That's just the regular.
It's
now?
not a trend anymore.
Oh.
Now it's standard.
It's
if you don't do
yeah.
swooshes, nobody likes your food. They're like, oh, this doesn't have pate swoosh on it or something.
Great.
Honestly, I think the up and coming trends it's happening right now actually.
What is it?
Well, so with our crazy food prices nowadays, and they're expected to even go up further.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I think we're going to lose a lot of our mom and pop shops.
Oh, I know. That makes me sad.
And so I think what's going to happen, kind of like what happened during the pandemic, was that everyone went back to the basics.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of having the, you know, Madagascar vanilla bean with gold leaf and figs from Jamaica or whatever.
Figs from Jamaica.
It'll just be
they don't grow
strawberry
figs in
and
Jamaica.
chocolate.
It goes back to something basic, like just a really good ice cream.
Yeah.
You know, there's this YouTuber I watch occasionally. He's a British guy. Works with their I don't know what it's called, but it's their NIH, National Institutes of Health.
Oh, okay.
So he works with them. He's a practicing doctor as well, and his whole thing is, how do you eat as healthy as you can on a budget?
Oh, I like that.
And so that's his whole thing, and it's not my thing, because he's like, yeah, just buy 5 pounds of dried lentils and you can eat for a month.
Oh.
You know, that's his whole thing.
Oh dear.
It's like
and
food storage.
it's not really for me, but
Really?
I get what he's saying. I get what he's getting at, and I think we're on that way, because we're being forced to. You know, we can't hardly afford a dozen eggs anymore.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
right? Ugh.
Yeah.
And so what do we do? How do we go back to basics? And how do we make that really tasty? How do we make our money from that? You know, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's where we're going, at least in the short term.
Yeah.
I don't think, high-end places they're gonna do well in the next few years, unfortunately.
Yeah, because people can't even splurge for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wanted to go out to eat this really, really fancy restaurant even just a year ago, and I was like, I can't afford $75 for a plate.
Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, it would be really cool to do that.
Well, it would be amazing.
Yeah, I was really excited to do it. But
So-
$75 a plate was too much for me.
So like 10 years ago, pre-pandemic, we were in this spot, which I wish we would recognize this when we're there. When we're in a really good place, economically and availability and things like that. Like at that time, I was getting fresh seafood from Hawaii
Yeah.
overnighted to me.
Oh my word.
Wow.
And so my rep lives in Hawaii.
Yeah.
He'd call me up for him, it was like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He'd call me up, and he's down on the docks, and he'd be like, okay, this is what the fisherman brought in. What do you want?
No way.
And then the next day I would have whatever.
That's like a
Whoa.
movie.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's the way it is. But I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of that now.
no.
Oh, probably not.
So yeah, I think the trend is bleak. Is what I'm trying to say.
Sad trends.
Sadness.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But everything has a return. Everything's on that. We're
We'll
on
probably
we're
all
on a
be
pendulum.
healthier though, don't you think? Like if we're
If
eating,
we do it right, yeah.
if we do it right.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask 2 more questions.
Oh no, go ahead.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Lonzo, I want to know what is your least favorite dish and your favorite dish to prepare.
Oh.
Okay.
I love that he already has an answer.
Instantly, like, let me tell you.
So the favorite dish to prepare, that's a little hard to...
Do you have multiple?
There's multiple, yes. I like styles better than I do like individual dishes.
Sure, okay. What are your favorite styles? Well, you can name more than one.
Okay.
Favorites don't have to be the same every time.
Okay.
You can have multiple favorites.
So my favorite thing to prepare is actually, this may sound weird, but it's actually stock. Like beef stock.
The broth?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, for two reasons.
Okay. You can't see the disappointment on my face.
I know that's kind of weird, yeah.
Go back to the blood part.
Bobby.
Sorry. I like the bones and the blood and the marrow. Fine.
Actually, bone marrow is really yummy.
Yes, it is.
I've never.
You like bone marrow but not blood?
It's cooked.
Come on.
It's cooked.
What the?
Where do you think blood comes from?
It's cooked.
We can boil the blood for you. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's so gross. Okay, go on.
Okay.
Stock? Why stock?
So stock, first of all, it's really chill, right? It's not like you're cooking, but at a very slow rate, and so it's almost like kind of like a fun, relieving, calm thing to do, rather than like I have 15 steaks I need to cook at 5 different temperatures. Right. So I like stock for that reason. It's kind of contemplative. Secondly, a good stock is a really good indicator of the chef in the kitchen. So if they make a good or decent stock, then you can trust that everything else they do is going to be good.
Okay.
If it's a crap stock, then they're not paying attention, and
then the whole kitchen's going to be the same.
Yep.
Oh, look at you, base indicators.
And it's great. My least favorite thing to cook. Anything that calls for cream of mushroom soup.
Oh my god! What do you have
I agree with you.
Wait, what's wrong with it?
because it's like Campbell's cream of
That's
mushroom
like
soup.
what
It's
I live
nasty.
off of.
No.
Oh no!
That's like, oh no! I mean, so it's fine. That's why I'm curious, because like my mom makes a ton of just like sauces with it, or like the cream of chicken or stuff, and we use it a ton. So
I think my bias is that's kind of what we grew up on.
Oh, well, I'm still doing it.
And we had a lot of casseroles growing up.
Yeah.
And I'm done with casseroles.
Yeah, I don't care.
I just
about
don't like
over
them.
it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm cured. I don't think I the only casserole that I will eat now, like willingly with joy, is
Tinfoil dinner.
No, funeral potatoes.
I love
funeral potatoes. I love funeral potatoes, and that does call for cream of
chicken.
Is it chicken? Cream of chicken? It is. It's cream of chicken, but I will only eat them at funerals. That's it.
Oh.
I will never
like
make it otherwise.
Like literally today we were gonna have stroganoff with meatballs and rice and.
I don't like stroganoff.
Is it because of the cream of mushroom
Yeah, probably.
soup?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the Campbell's. Sorry, don't come after us, Campbell's.
Oh.
I'm not a fan of those soup bases.
Yeah.
Because they're
like
very
salt.
very salty.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
And the flavors are all packed in there.
Yeah.
And so for me as a chef, I don't want Campbell's telling me how to flavor my food.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's super.
It always just tastes cheap to me too. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, it's. I'm not saying that there's not a place in society for it.
Yeah.
Oh sure.
I think there is. In fact, a lot of chefs eat horribly bad. I did for many years.
Yeah.
Ramen.
Worse than that. Ramen and like Taco Bell, and I mean, don't come after us, Taco Bell.
Why you're just getting rid of all our sponsors?
We have
you have sponsors?
No, not yet.
Wow.
We're not gonna have it.
If anyone wants to sponsor us, let us know.
Could you imagine it's like Monster or something, and we're all like,
oh my gosh,
we don't do
the Monster.
We'll just like.
I hear this is good.
My friend told me it was
explode.
good right before his heart stopped.
Oh my god. We would have to do one podcast. We'd both take a sip, and then we'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm just gonna make the noise we all thought, okay? You guys don't know it, but a car almost touched our car. So.
We're good. No, we're good. Okay. Last question for me, and then Bobby, if you have any follow-up questions, you can ask. Okay. So last question for me is, overall, out of all the things you've ever tried, what's your favorite cuisine to eat?
Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Casseroles.
Favorite casseroles.
Casseroles.
Favorite cuisine to eat. I'm just gonna go with my gut. I love rustic French food.
Rustic. I love that. I love Mediterranean food.
Wait, what is different between French food and rustic French food? Like what's for us?
So like not croissants that have chocolate in them.
Yeah, like
what?
Not pain au chocolat.
Oh, those are so good.
They're good, but that's not what you're talking about, though.
So I mean, that's a good starting. So a pain au chocolat is basically a dark chocolate that's been wrapped or that's inside of a croissant.
Oh, I've been to Starbucks.
Super. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
They're delicious.
Only the
I'm
French
basic.
ones are so much better.
Oh, I bet.
Alonzo's been there.
Dude, I've been to France too.
That's
I
right,
ate a croissant there.
Yeah.
It was really
Nice.
good.
Where'd you go in France?
So, Paris.
Oh, Paris.
I'm basic, like I said.
No, it's all good. I love Paris.
Yeah.
Well,
Their eclairs are good too. Not to be other off topic, but that's where I found out that it's not 90% the insides. It's supposed to be like, you know what I'm saying?
Like it's not
Like
all cream.
here it's all
It's
like,
not all cream.
Yeah,
it's not all cream like here where they're just like,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's like a
Anyways.
pudding cup. Like wrapped in
And
bread.
then they were like, no.
And they make real pudding for the inside instead of the
instead
fake
of-
pudding that we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Campbell's soup.
Campbell soup pudding.
Campbell's
Campbell's,
soup.
you should get on that.
No, stop.
Custard
stop,
flavor
stop.
Campbell soup.
Oh, that's the worst.
Out of a can.
Okay, so it's
Yum.
not pain au chocolat.
Anyway,
What
sorry.
is it?
Okay, so
Yeah,
a good way to describe this between, French cuisine, like the haute cuisine, the high cuisine,
Yeah.
versus rustic French would be the pain au chocolat versus a 3-ingredient baguette.
Ooh.
So a
yeah.
3-ingredient baguette would be considered rustic.
Flour, water, salt.
Gotcha.
Yes, flour, water, salt,
Look at me, I know
So-
my baguettes.
and
Okay,
then the
yeah,
natural
good,
yeast.
good.
And the natural yeast, yeah.
So,
No, like
All right.
when I think of like rustic French food, I think of those like open-faced tarts that they make. So they're not like
Yeah.
they're not in a pan. It's literally just like tart base dough stuff in it wrapped, and then you just wrap up the edges and you're like cook and now eat.
yeah. I mean I'd call that rustic.
Yeah.
Also like rabbit stews.
Yeah, I don't like rabbit though.
I like rabbit. It's not worth it though.
Oh my
No,
god.
amen.
Because you work, especially if you fabricate the whole thing.
Oh.
Like it doesn't take a long time, but it takes a while. Like the French Laundry, classic
Mhm.
1970s, 80s, high end California cuisine.
Sure.
One of their signature dishes was a rack of rabbit.
Okay.
Wow.
So they took the ribs, right?
They're like
And
2
That's
inches
like
they're
long.
everything is so
tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they French the rib bones to leave the little, sirloin at the end.
Right? The little raindrops sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that was one of their classic dishes. I found out that it was their unpaid interns that had to do that.
That's awful.
And if they could get through that, then they're in the running to be
Oh my
an
gosh.
actual
I
chef
feel
there.
like if you went to eat there, you'd be so hungry when you left. I feel like you'd burn all your calories chewing.
Well, they have I forget how many courses, but it's like 9 courses or something, maybe
Wow.
12.
Yeah, but at
So-
the end of that, your brain said, "Oh, I ate something, and I think I'm full," but your stomach's going, "Feed me."
So you spend $400 at the French Laundry, and then like 5 hours later, you're at Carl's Jr.
Yeah,
eating
exactly.
a burger.
Something
You
is.
totally would. I like to feel full.
Do you?
I
hate
do. I like to feel full. Well, so Bobby, how many times have you eaten today?
It. I don't know. At least 6.
At least 6. You know how many times I've eaten today?
Once.
Once.
Yeah, I got some.
I was gonna say, do you want some of
Cookies
these nice
here
cookies?
for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can have some of my
We've
cookies.
talked about this
Oh my
often.
gosh.
Bobby eats like a bird. She eats like every 20 minutes, and I'm like, no.
You're a chef. What do you recommend? That way or this way?
I mean, if it was for my hedonic pleasures, I'd eat like you do.
Yeah.
Because I love to eat as well.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on your health conditions
No.
and whatnot. So, and I'm not qualified to
You're
speak
like,
on
I'm
that.
not a nutritionist.
No, he's not a nutritionist. He's
Okay.
a chef. He makes us happy.
Yeah.
Nutritionists make you sad.
Oh,
I came to this
Fair.
realization a few years ago. So that scripture, it's a warning. It says, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
That's my job.
Oh.
I'm supposed to make you eat, drink,
Oh
and be
my
merry.
God.
That's what I get paid to do. So I'm like, oh.
Awkward.
We have to be the masters of moderation on that one. I'm pretty sure that everything that you've made me, I've thoroughly enjoyed. The only thing that I was like on was the borscht. You made some beet soup for me once, and I was like, not my favorite.
Yeah,
Having it?
not a huge fan. It's a beet stew.
Oh, what's
Yeah.
So
wrong
it's
with
it's
it's like
earthy and
beet flavored cream is what it is.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
beet? Oh,
But I was like, I could live without that. But other than that, I've really enjoyed it all. It's been super fun.
Oh,
to
good.
Have
Thanks for lying.
Yeah, no. That's not
if you want
accurate.
to sponsor us, feel free.
No, stop. Stop. All right, Bobby, did you have any other questions for her?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I'm alright.
All right, final thoughts, everybody. Final thoughts. Bobby, you go.
You like canned beets?
Do you like canned beets, Lon?
What?
Is that your question,
I
really,
don't
Bobby?
I
didn't
don't.
prep anything. You're like,
I don't think
do
anybody in our
cans.
family likes beets, do they? 'Cause
I
usually-
like beets.
Really? You like
Yeah.
beets? I do not
I'm,
like
I'm not a
beets.
fan of most things that are canned.
Yeah,
So
I don't care for him either.
I had canned green beans the other day for the first time in like a decade.
And
Yeah?
were you so
Oh.
sad?
Oh my gosh,
gross.
don't ever come to my house. Literally, like that's what it would be is the like rice, the stroganoff with the canned soup, and then on the side would be a canned corn and the green beans.
Maybe you should come to my house.
Oh, I do.
I like this idea.
That's fine.
Love it. You should
I'll
have
come
Alonzo
over.
make you some dinner. It's
All right.
really good stuff. That's what we should have done. We should have this conversation over dinner.
Oh,
well.
Oh,
Stitching coming.
Stitching coming. Well, no, we'll invite Alonzo back.
all right.
No. Final thoughts, Lon. What do you think?
Food is more than nutrition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Food is nutrition, but it's also perhaps the single most important cultural thing in our lives.
Yeah.
If you think about it, everything in our lives revolves around food. We have to eat, first off.
Yeah.
But then in our family units, we end up eating together quite often.
Yeah.
And it's around the dinner table, specifically the dinner table in the American culture at least, where we discuss things as family or as friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we test out our ideas. That's where we kind of grow in our thoughts and deeds.
Yep.
So, and not only that, but everything in our lives revolves around food. The transportation system.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we didn't have roads, we'd all starve.
That's true.
Yeah.
Our water systems are all designed around our farmers and everything. So, you know, I honestly think we need to give food more credit.
Yeah.
It's just so common we don't think about it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, I would say, support your local people, support your local farmers if you can, if there are any.
Yeah, if there are any.
And that's kind of a sad thing.
Yeah.
So, in any case, that's my final thought.
I love that.
Wow. That
I
was
love
way
your
better than mine.
perspective. You like beats. No.
I couldn't even put me
I
on the
love
spot.
that. I totally agree with you though. I love eating with my family. To some extent, I enjoy making food for my family. I think it's awesome, and it's been really cool to see you go down this journey. I feel like it's been super relatable because it is such a common thing. So I've totally enjoyed watching you cook and try and experiment and let me participate in small doses.
It's fun. It's fun.
I love it. I love cooking with you. So thank you for coming on our show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So everybody like, share, subscribe. Bobby, anything else?
Nope.
No. We love you guys. Comment.
Yeah.
Tell us your favorite dishes.
Tell your friends about us.
Yeah. Share our podcast with everyone. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.